get into lefty lunacy, guys.
Let's do it.
Tim Walz, we've already talked about him today, and he is... he just never fails to embarrass himself. He gives us so much content. Here he is, asked a very simple question. What is a woman? Nancy Mace put that question to him, and watch his face in here.
What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh. Hey, Rita.
It's so confusing, that question. It's just so complicated.
It's so complicated. You could literally ask a toddler that question and they'd give you a better answer than what we just heard.
Yeah, but then the toddler would be suspended from preschool for being transphobic. But then, you know, let's not forget that. But the other thing, too, is that, like, you're telling me, Rita, that a guy who spent his career as governor of Minnesota putting tampons in the boys' bathrooms in the high schools wasn't able to answer the question, what is woman? Rita, I'm frankly surprised that you're surprised.
It's a question that they see as a gotcha question, Caroline. No. It's not a gotcha question. Just say an adult female,
biological
maybe mention
female.
chromosomes. Lots of things you can say to answer
Lots
it.
of scientifically based answers. Or if you're Clementine Ford, you say it's someone who has been afraid of a man at some point in their life. That is her definition
which
of
would
a
make
woman.
James a woman as well, because I'm sure at some point in your life you've never been afraid of a man.
What if you've been afraid of a woman? Because I find Clementine Ford's stupidity
there's a lot of scary
terrifying.
men in New York. Yeah. Now, we talked about Grace Tame and Nike ending their association with the former Australian of the Year after some of the radical is putting it nicely, stuff she was putting on social media. Caroline, another corporate relationship has come to an end. Yeah. Someone I'd never heard of, but a Melbourne entrepreneur, Lucy Figgins, who's the founder of the Design Files, which apparently has quite a large following. Mercedes-Benz and Dulux have both torn up their agreements with her. Tell us why.
Well, she came to the defence of someone else, a Sydney architect called Luigi Rosselli, who has been posting praise of Greta Thunberg and her selfie yacht floating towards Gaza in an attempt to end the blockade. And so she came to his defence, but she's been posting for a long time.
It's a long time. I don't think it's just that
it wasn't. I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I mean, Mercedes-Benz, obviously a German company who have donated heavily, who have worked with Israeli organisations like Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum in Israel.
Yes.
They weren't going to put up with this any longer.
Why is it that these companies seem to be unable, when they're going to go and like hire somebody to be an influencer for them or something like that? And I mean, I don't know why, you know, because somebody's driving a Mercedes, I'm going to want to drive a Mercedes too or whatever. But like, why they aren't just having a bit of a scroll through their Insta just to make sure that the person's
for
not
the long time, it was a one-way street. If you said anything remotely conservative, you were banned. Like, you were absolutely poison as far as the corporate world was concerned, which is so idiotic, but that was the position they took. But you could spout all sorts of crazy leftist nonsense and they would say, oh, well, there's no price to pay because people on the right don't boycott products. They don't have cancel culture. Well, guess what? People on the right also decide where they spend their money.
So you're saying the marketing departments of all these companies run by the New South Wales moderates?
That's pretty much it.
I mean, in fairness, a lot of these bloggers and mummy influencers, they haven't discovered the Middle East until October 7, and then they all came out thinking it's the cause du jour and jumped on the bandwagon.
They're so genuine here, you know, like all of a sudden, hey, you know, I'm doing my frame black for Black Lives Matter. Oh, no, wait, now I'm putting a watermelon up for Palestine. Who cares?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be this issue because, as we have seen with all these influencers, bloggers, all the sort of lefty echo chamber, you can predict their position on any topic.
But
before October 7, you could have found plenty of radical leftist content they were pumping out to their followers.